video. We have lots of things to cover today. The main thing will be covering my new Ice Golem team that I thought to show to you guys. It doesn't use a single legendary, but it's a normal Ice Golem 25 team. I thought I'll rebuild it for the tournament that we have going on right now. I never really worry about the Ice Golem team that I'm gonna run because basically it's not a dungeon that I farm at all, other than when there's a fusion or a fragment collection. I don't farm it. The gear in the Ice Golem is not really worth it, but we'll get into that in a little bit. What I wanted to cover before we get into that is the winners from yesterday's video. If you guys remember, let me just show you right here. On my latest video, I said 5 of you guys that comment your UM number will be entered into a draw where you can possibly actually win 540 gems. 5 winners only. So we'll get that going on right now. I'll definitely write down the winners. And after that, I'll explain on what else is coming. Actually, in about an hour or so, I'll be live over on Deadwood Jedi's channel, and we'll be doing the Hydra Clan Boss draft, which means 8 players will be competing on who does the most amount of damage on Brutal Hydra. It will be very exciting, so make sure to stay on and actually come over, say hi, and watch the whole thing. It's gonna be kind of impossible drawing all the good champions since it's 8 players competing with each other. So it will be very, very interesting on what is left over in our teams for making a Hydra team for Brutal. Remember, Brutal. So with that being said, let's do the quick picking of the winners. I put in the link there for the video. Filter duplicate users, and I think we have 194 commenters. Let's get our first winner. For this one, it's this guy, Harold. Mystery shards are my savior during champion chase and summon rush. Oh, that's pretty cool, dude. Congrats. Let's get pick another winner. Boom. It's let's Saint Armiger bless your content. Okay, that's cool. Thanks, dude. And then let's pick winner number 3. This guy here. Congrats. He didn't type anything, but it's fine. Number 4, another guy who didn't really type anything, but it's fine, it's fine. And let's get the final winner. Loving the content. All right, thanks, dude. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. There's the 5 winners, guys. If you didn't win, don't worry. I'll be doing more giveaways in the channel, so stay tuned. Be subscribed to know when I'm posting videos and all that. So with that in mind, let's get into what the actual video is about today. So Ice Golem, as I said, it's not an amazing dungeon. Nobody really cares to farm it. I don't even bother pushing for hard because there's no reason for me to push for hard. Maybe get the mythical items, but honestly, I'm selling 99.5% of the gear that I get from Ice Golem. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. Even provoke sets, which can be useful in some situations, reflex, resistance, all of those can be useful in some situations, but all of these have been power crept by how Plarium has been introducing content into the game, and gear sets, especially through the Forge set, it has made these sets pretty much obsolete, especially the first 3 sets. These are kind of 2019, the first 6 months of release, that's when you use these sets, but after that, pretty much you're gonna be changing them for something else. And especially with the Forge Pass coming into play for many new players, if you are like a medium spender where you buy the Forge Pass when it's up, for like the $20, 20 euros, whatever is the price, you get access to 200 gear farming, 200 sets, which reduce the gear farming that you need, right? So you pretty much jump ahead of everybody else and can actually start farming for other sets instead of the Ice Golem, where the Ice Golem would be useful in some situations. So that's why nobody really cares about the Ice Golem, especially me. I haven't bothered making a team for hard. And since I know it's basically very strict with the HP burn champions that you need, I thought let's make a normal 25 team. And this is the team, guys. 2 rares and 3 epics make a under 1 minute team. Let me just show you the run and then I'll explain how everything works. Of course, you see here 2 easily accessible champions. These are Doom Tower champions, 2 void rares, and then of course Seer, which is an amazing champion. But overall, not a crazy setup to have. The gear, though, the gear required for this is quite difficult to have because of how Seer works with the 6-star awakening. She gets a lot of damage ignore defense that she gets for the waves. It really helps her. I don't have anything invested through the live arena area bonuses, but it's still, you know, a pretty strong thing to have. I've got the shield sets and all that to help Seer do more damage through her karma burn. The important thing is, overall, I would say if you don't have this, the 6-star awakening, which is very difficult to have, you would probably need to have Seer go first with the weekend, okay? So that would mean your Seer would have to be over 200 speed for sure. So she takes 2 turns over the enemy waves. It's not that difficult to do actually to get her over 200 speed, but getting her crit damage enough where she just benefits from Archmage Helmut's triple buffing skill. You know, it's not an easy task, but it's very doable, and it actually benefits, you know, this run. Let's go and have a look at this. The team is not supposed to survive all the way to the Ice Golem boss. What the team is supposed to do is actually die, except for Dark Kale, who is there to be the poisoner, taking down the boss. And now she did her A2. We've got the resets there, and boom, 16 seconds, we reach wave 3, which is the boss. Now you'll see we'll manage to do like 1 clear of the 2 ads here on the sides, which is perfectly fine. Boom, there it is. Hoping now for a nice hit by the boss. Come on. There it is. Clears everybody else except for Darkel. And then Darkel is left on his own, basically to keep on the poisons. He's got the poison sensitivity on, which does more damage from the poisons. And then he just spams those. Just spams those and goes crazy. And we'll have a clear under 56 seconds. Wow, this is quite a long run actually. Not sure what is happening. A minute, but my fastest run was 40 seconds. We'll do one more run now for you guys to actually see it, and then I'll show you how I actually found this team. It wasn't a team that I thought of. I know, of course, the mechanics, but it's not something that I thought, all right, let me just use 2 renegades and see how that works for the Ice Golem. I do have the Kaimars, I do have a Yumiko, but they wouldn't really work for this kind of setup because of their speeds that I use them in other content on. So the renegades really come into play here and are actually pretty nice. Wow, look at all the poisons. Finally, Darkel actually targeted the boss here instead of the ads. I'm not sure how he can do that. So yeah, pretty cool that he doesn't immediately die. That's because of his stats. His stats are not that crazy in terms of health and defense. What is crazy is his resistance, since we don't want any debuffs landing on him. And then yeah, we do get the clear. Come on, there we go. 53 seconds, but you know, my average is like 50, 45 to 50. Fastest was 40. The 40 I would think is probably because of the refresh accessories on Darkel, but it's a pretty cool team anyway, and it's a very doable team. I've even saw a setup where you don't even use Darkel, you use somebody else, a rare champion, and that is pretty cool, especially since Archmage Helmut is a champion you can get basically from the first couple of clears that you do of normal rotations, but Darkel takes a little bit longer than Archmage. But if you got Frozen Banshee, you can actually replace her with Darkel. But I wouldn't think the runs would be as fast as Darkel, because he executes those poisons with his A1, instantly activates them, and makes it much easier to actually do a lot of damage. So let me show you where I found this. This was from the Hell Hades Optimizer website, right? So if you just try and find something over there in terms of a fast team, it shows you other teams that other players have made. So I didn't make this team, somebody else made it, right? Somebody else made it. He cleared the Ice Golem, even 36 seconds here. At the top, 39 seconds. Pretty cool to see, right? So this is kind of the speeds that I followed right here, and the sets that I've used. So a shield set exactly is what I've used. An immunity set on one, it gives an extra buff for Seer to clear. And then this guy has way more crit damage than me, so 321, and way more speed, but it still worked for me, guys, as you saw. And then the big thing was the Dark Hell in a region immortal set, and actually have him in reaction instead of the extra buff that he gives through Blood Shield here, and also the reaction doesn't really matter, but yeah, 245 speed is around what I had. 3,000 defense, 50,000 health, 350 resistance plus 259 accuracy, and then Ashram Help Me pretty much doesn't need anything. He just needs to have a little bit of crit, maybe. The crit damage is not really needed. He doesn't do that much damage to the ads at the start, and then he dies at the end. But the important thing is for Seer to be squishy enough so that she can die. So if you guys can see here, I even mentioned, yeah, there's a team that cleared this with a Frozen Banshee. So definitely doable with a Frozen Banshee if you wanted to have like a fast team. But this one only had like 2 battles fought, while this team had 324 battles with about a 95% success rate, which is pretty nice to see, right? So if I show you guys my team, my own stats that I have to compare with what you just saw, it's here's my Seer, the 6-star awakening. I'm so proud of that. It's 209 speed, 311 crit damage, so no bonuses here from the live arena. 1.8k defense, that needs to be low so that she can actually die. 311 crit damage works for me, and yeah, you can get to like a good number, but you do need the Savage, guys. You do need the Savage. If you're planning to do dungeons 25, you need Savage. If you're going for lower, all of these stats can be reduced significantly and will still make a proper solid team for you guys to clear. Of course, everything maxed out. Of course, you need good masteries, and you don't need the War Master, especially for Ice Golem, but you'll need it later for Fire Knight teams. So have that in mind. And the real MVP here is not everybody else. Everybody else, you saw what kind of gear they were running, but Dark Hell is the MVP here with this build. All right, that I'm running him, especially Master Hexa works a lot with the poison, extends the duration of the poisons. Cycle of Magic is pretty cool. And then even this one, even Retribution is actually great for countering back and attacking on the boss, and actually using up your poisons. Even got a blessing on him. I wasn't sure what blessing to give him. I gave him this one, which gives him a little bit of health and also chance of blocking freeze, since the boss can freeze. But there weren't any kind of blessings that I thought, oh, this is perfect for Dark Hell. So he doesn't really need the blessings. Refresh, not really needed, but is very helpful and helps for those extremely fast time clears. And what is very important here for Dark Hell will be his resistance. You can go with the lower, I'm gonna say, because of the Seer leader aura, right? The aura gives you 40 resistance, so he's basically at 400 resistance, which is not what you actually need. You need about 350 for dungeons 25, but it doesn't really hurt if you go higher. It doesn't make it impossible to be resisted for debuffs to land, but it's still pretty good to have it. If you can get to this amount of speed with regen and immortal, and also get a good amount of value for his health, defense, then go for it. His accuracy can stay even a little bit lower than this, like 250, 240. You should be okay. 230 to the 280 mark is usually like on the safe side. So here, obviously, you're looking for substats such as speed, accuracy, resistance, and then HP% where possible. So this is almost a perfect item right here. The helmet here has got almost perfect stats, so defense percent, speed, accuracy, resistance, and then you put the glyphs if you can, if you have them available on everything, right? And you saw here that I didn't give speed my glyphs here for speed, specifically because I have this godly banner. So I was gonna show this one. I felt like the comments would go crazy for this banner, but I didn't go for the extra speed here, just to mean that you can go with the lower banner, obviously, and still reach these speeds. But this is like an amazing banner, like a quad roll plus a +7, 36 speed just from a single item. And then reaction, I went for heavy on HP, all right? But I tried to reach that 3,000 defense mark, at least, with 50,000 health. So if you're planning to build a kind of team with this, have all of these stats in mind, and you'll see Dark Hell really shining. And then we've got the Renegades. The Renegades don't really matter. It's just their speed. They're just there to do their A3. You don't need masteries, okay? The other one I have, I think it's a level. I think she got a few levels from, I was farming for trying to get the fragments. Throw her in with the immunity set, whatever you have available. The speed doesn't need to be exactly at 160, 170. They just need to be kind of slow. So 195 for mine here. works pretty well. Don't need to have leveled up gear, just have enough speed, honestly, to go in rotation. And the thing to have in mind, of course, in the end is the team setup. So the team setup has to be very specific. So I actually have Darkale's A2 disabled throughout and his A3, except for the final run here where his A3 is enabled and he always will be doing it. Seer has to do her Karma Burn, obviously. Then we got Archmage Helmut basically doing his A3 always. And then it's the Renegades, who one has to not use it on round 2 and one has to use it on round 2. So my first Renegade uses it on round 2. And then my second Renegade doesn't use it on round 1 or round 2 and uses it on round 3 because of the cooldowns that they have. They're quite long. That's why it uses like a double Renegade for this one. And that is the team, guys. I hope it helps you for the Ice Golem. I'll see you all in about an hour or so over on Dead with Jedi's stream. If you've watched this video and are over there, just say hi, Cold Brew. And yeah, thank you all. I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow for sure. See ya, guys.